Venus Williams, Coco Gauff in line for second-round Australian Open clash. American superstars young and old could clash in the second round of the Australian Open after the draw was made Thursday in Melbourne. Coco Gauff, 21, and Venus Williams, 45, were set on a collision course. Williams, ranked 576th in the world, received a wild card so she can appear at the Australian Open for the first time since 2021. Her first-round foe will be 68th-ranked Olga Danilovic of Serbia. Although she has 7 career major championships, Williams has never won the Australian Open. Her best results in Melbourne were final-round appearances in 2003 and 2017, when she lost to her sister Serena Williams each time. Other stories. Venus Williams, 45, receives wildcard entry for Australian Open. Sinner to meet Gaston in Australian Open first round, Sabalenka to play French wildcard. Alex Ela to face American Alicia Parks in Australian Open main draw debut. Gauff, who is seeded third, posted her best Australian Open performance in 2024 when she reached the semi-finals. The two-time major champion will oppose number 91 Kamila Rakimova of Uzbekistan in the first round. Another U.S. player, 9th-seeded Madison Keys, will open the defense of her first Grand Slam championship by facing 90th-ranked Alexandra Oleinikova of Ukraine. Keys' section of the draw features a possible third-round match against number 22 Leylah Fernandez of Canada and a potential fourth-round match versus number 6 Jessica Pegula of the United States. Top-seeded Aryna Sabalenka of Belarus, the runner-up to Keys in 2025, will open versus number 118 Tyansoa Rakitomanga Rajana of France. On the men's side, two-time defending champion Jannik Sinner of Italy, seeded second, begins the event by opposing number 93 Hugo Gaston of France. Top-seeded Carlos Alcaraz of Spain will begin against a home country favorite as he meets number 80 Adam Walton of Australia. Fourth-seeded Novak Djokovic, a 10-time Australian Open champion, faces number 71 Pedro Martinez of Spain in the first round. Djokovic is on Sinner's half of the draw, setting up a possible semi-final, if each wins his first 5 matches. A court divided by generations, a match that unites them. The Australian Open is more than just a Grand Slam. It is the season's first great test of courage, legacy, and destiny, a tournament where history lingers in the heat of Melbourne, in the gleam of fluorescent lights on hard courts, in the rhythm of forehands and backhands echoing through Rod Laver Arena. In 2026, the Open carries an unusual and enchanting storyline: Venus Williams and Coco Gauff, 2 American champions separated by nearly a generation, poised for a possible second-round showdown. Imagine the moment: thousands of fans packed in early round stands, the sun setting behind Melbourne Park, and 2 women who have both shaped and reshaped the women's game standing ready to compete. It would be more than a tennis match. It would be a symbolic passing of the torch, a collision of past and future, of grace and grit. Venus, the legacy of a titan. At 45, Venus Williams defies age the way the best athletes always have, not by defying reality, but by redefining expectations. A veteran of more than 2 decades at the sport's highest level, Venus has carved out a legacy that extends well beyond titles and trophies. Her presence on tour, especially at a Grand Slam, is a living testament to longevity, resilience, and passion. In 2026, she returns to the Australian Open, a place she first graced as a teenager in 1998, after a 5-year absence from the event. This return is significant not because of what it might mean in terms of wins or losses, but because of what it already means: that a champion refuses to be relegated to memory and instead insists on making history. Williams was granted a wild card into the draw, a nod to her enduring stature in tennis and her contributions to the sport. Ranked outside the top echelons, at world number 576, she enters not as a favorite, but as a storyteller of resilience, her every step on court echoing both decades of competition and the evolution of the women's game itself. Her first-round match will be against Serbia's Olga Danilovic, a potentially formidable test for a legendary star seeking one more moment in the spotlight. Should Venus win, then the path to facing the meteoric Coco Gauff becomes real, a narrative twist worthy of a scripted epic. Coco, the prodigy taking her place. If Venus embodies the past, Coco Gauff embodies the present and future of women's tennis. She first drew global attention in 2019 at Wimbledon, where, as a 15-year-old qualifier, she stunned the world by defeating the very Venus she might meet again, a moment that instantly became part of tennis lore. Fast forward to 2026, Gauff is no longer the rising kid with potential. She's a two-time major champion and the number 3 seed at one of the sport's most prestigious tournaments. She has grown in strength, strategy, and composure, turning promising talent into proven excellence. Her first-round opponent is number 91 ranked Kamila Rakimova, a solid competitor but a match Gauff would be expected to manage with her trademark athleticism and strategic depth. Win or lose, her story at the Open is still about presence. A champion who has shouldered great expectations and fulfilled many of them. And yet, lurking in the draw, just beyond her first match, sits the possibility of facing Venus Williams, the woman who inspired a generation, including Gauff herself. That would be more than a match, it would be a confluence of legacies. The arc of their first encounter. To fully appreciate the anticipation, we must rewind to Wimbledon 2019. A teenage Gauff against a seasoned Venus, on traditional grass, at the storied All England Club. The young challenger stunned the veteran, announcing her arrival with confidence and power beyond her years. That match was more than a result, it was a signal that tennis was entering a new era. In their potential clash at the Australian Open, the roles would be reversed. The narrative has come full circle, the once young wunderkind is now the established champion, and the legend, long absent from these courts, is striving for another moment of glory. Such symmetry is rare in sport, and it captures something timeless, that the past and future are not separate but interconnected, always influencing what comes next. More than a match, a cultural moment. If the encounter happens, it will be a lens through which fans, critics, and even casual observers will view the evolution of tennis itself. For fans of all ages, it's a reminder that sports are about people, not just performance. Venus Williams standing tall as a bridge between eras, a role model for longevity, strength, and character. Coco Gauff representing the promise of what is still to come, fresh energy, contemporary excellence, and the outward impact of sport as a platform for activism and inspiration. Moreover, this potential match underscores the rich tapestry of women's tennis today, where legends still compete, new champions rise, and the boundaries of the sport continue to expand. Fans will witness firsthand how the game can honor its history while pushing into the future at breathtaking speed. Dynamics of the match itself. If this match takes place, what might we expect? Power versus precision. Gauff's game is defined by athleticism, baseline power, and tactical maturity. Her ability to construct points and shift momentum has matured over years at the top of the sport.